Ohio State. The legendary horseshoe. Number 1 versus number 3. Here we go. Baxter brings it out of the end zone. Skips forward. And a very good return as he's downed at the 30-yard line.
I think that they're giving an invalid signal here. Okay, so the up back right there in front of the returner, when you put your arms out like that, it's kind of a signal to the kickoff team that you're going to give up down the ball, and so this ball's coming back to the 25.
All right, first down at 10 of the 25, first snap. And Manning rolls out of the pocket, throws across his body, and he skips that one.
Fast, elite speed.
Second down and 10 of the 25. This time, they'll run it straight ahead. And it's Wisner. Buckeyes with a chance to get off the field on 3rd and 4. Manning goes through his progressions underneath. It's caught, but short of the first down from this spot. Igbeneusen with the tackle.
And the offense is staying on the field right here. They're going to go for this.
So they'll go for it.
Oh, I don't know. My goodness.
It might be. Ohio State feels like they've denied him from the 35. C.J. Baxter. They give it to him. He skims through the hole. Nice move as he cuts it back up, picks up a first down. Empty backfield for Manning. Remember, he's got incredible wheels. Manning sets, guns over the middle, incomplete. Flag on the play, however.
False start, number 1 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So that'll make it first down and 15 at the 44. Baxter again straight ahead with the crease, but he's gobbled up quickly. Second down and 13 at the 46. Again, Baxter churning those legs. Manning out of the gun. High snap, handle, sprints out of the pocket. Trying to square his shoulders, dumps it. Not enough for the first down. Baxter, and he won't get it. At the 42, they say Sayin can really spin the football, folks. And they will hand it off. C.J. Donaldson, the West Virginia transfer.
They double cover him. They'll watch out for Carnell Tate.
Second down and 8 at the 44. Running it again. Donaldson, power back. He's got great size. Third down and 1 at the 49. Straight ahead, and the Buckeyes won't get it. How about this? Both defenses, stout play early. Play fake, Sayin. He'll throw it underneath. Caught. Oh, incomplete. On the sideline, Max Clare had it. Just couldn't hold on. First down and 10 from the 49 for Texas. Wisner up the middle. Second and 6 at the 47. Another handoff. Wisner jitterbugging. Tried to find a crease, and he'll be tackled at the line of scrimmage at the 47-yard line. And some movement on the Texas offensive line. That's the right tackle, Brandon Baker. Manning's going to have to let this one fly. Manning off his back foot, checks it down to the sideline. Ohio State prepared. Baxter wrestled down. Will send it away, standing at his own 39. First punt of the game for either team. And it's fair caught at the 7. First down and 10 at their own 8. And they'll hand it off. James Peoples this time. Sophomore from San Antonio, Texas. Stopped by Brook. After a gain of 1, second down and 9. From the 9. Sayin. Out wide, Smith breaks a tackle. Makes a few people miss. Donaldson in the backfield. Now motions out. Empty for Sayin. Julian Sayin with time underneath. Throws a strike. First down, Ohio State. Max Clare, 700 yards and 4 touchdowns at Purdue last year. Sayin, quick strike, and Smith takes his eyes off of it for a second. Drops the football. Peoples this time. Oh, he's ambushed behind the line of scrimmage. Donaldson back in the game and running back. Saying under pressure. Got it away, and another drop by the Buckeyes. Another drop by Jeremiah Smith. Ryan Niblett, the deep man. Joe McGuire takes a step, boots it, and the ball takes an Ohio State bounce and dies around the 25. The 10 at the 25 for Texas. Baxter, lone setback, play fake. Manning sets on his back foot, all day to throw. Over the middle, a little high, and incomplete.
They go out and try to get a good player.
Second down and 10. Texas staying on the ground. They need 8 at the 27. Manning steps up in the pocket, makes a move, and he'll be tackled at the line of scrimmage for Ohio State. He's at the 25. Bo Meester sends it away. Smith with the fair catch at the 20. On the near side, they hand it off to Peoples. And it's a gain of 3. Let's go downstairs to the AAG. Sand over the middle. Nice completion. Jeremiah Smith breaks a tackle.
To be working just fine, the new ones that Jenny told us about.
Whatever makes him feel better. How about that? Here's a handoff. And that 16-yard completion, longest gain of the day.
Well, and now
with this program.
How about the draft that they had? 7 players in the first 45 picks.
4 first-round picks, 14 players overall selected in the NFL draft from Ohio State. Second and 5 at the 44. Here's the handoff. Peoples makes people miss, picks up a first down. First down and 10 at midfield. Sayin with time. Near side. Ball caught. Sayin from Carlsbad, California. That's near San Diego. Play action fake. Sets up deep. Slings it. Incomplete. Littleton from Tampa, Florida. Third down and 4. True freshman at the 44. Sayin lobs it up top. Incomplete, over the shoulder grab. Littleton in coverage.
Personal foul. Face mask on the defense.
Oh, wow.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I did see Gus Philip Daniels, number 70. His helmet popped off, and he started jogging off to the sideline. But if it comes off of your head because of a penalty, then you can stay in the game. So not only does Daniels stay in the game, but they get the free first down after those 2 nice plays from Littleton.
From the Texas 29 for Ohio State. C.J. Donaldson, the pistol back. They give it to him, and he's lucky to get across the line of scrimmage.
Should wind up his turnovers.
Second and 9 to the 28. Sayin scrambles, and he will just dump it out of play. A flag, though, thrown.
Holding on the defense, number 4. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So referee David Smith, SEC official. There's the hold right there as Smith was trying to break out as Sayin left the pocket.
The spot should be the 28-yard line, not the 29. 28-yard line.
Carnell Tate in motion. We haven't called his name yet. He lines up in the slot. He's a spectacular talent. Here's a handoff. Donaldson pushes the pile forward. And Ohio State churning, picking up yards. 2,000 yards over 3 seasons and scored 30 rushing touchdowns. Again, a first down. 10th play of the drive coming up, which started at the 20-yard line for Ohio State. Here's the handoff. Peoples trying to find a seam, and they'll back him up after he crosses the line of scrimmage. Michael Taft there, gain of 2.
You know, I thought that last year's running backs for Ohio State, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, both second-round draft picks, I thought this was where, listen, they were really good in a lot of different areas, but where they excelled is here in the low red zone. Low red zone meaning inside the 10-yard line. Gus, they had a knack, you remember last year, of getting small and powerful and finding that goal line. We'll see if these new backs for the Buckeyes can do the same.
Second down and goal from the 4. They go straight ahead again for Donaldson, trying to use that big body, and he'll pick up a couple. Talk about those running backs. Travion Henderson drafted in the 2nd round by New England. Quinshon Judkins in the 2nd round by the Browns. So he's over there with your quarterback, Shedeur Sanders.
Start thinking ahead here. It's 3rd and goal. What's Ryan Day's decision here? He's looking at his call sheet on the sideline. Are they thinking about a 4th down play call? Will they go for it? Would they settle for a field goal? You got to wonder what's going on. It looks like they might want to try to call a timeout, and they're going to get that done. They're going to call timeout here from the sideline.
Extra offensive lineman in the game for Ohio State. 3rd down and goal at the 2. Donaldson. Texas getting pressure. Looks like it was Cole Brevard getting inside the backfield. And they'll hand it off. Donaldson! Touchdown, Bucks! C.J. Donaldson.
Right here, Luke Montgomery and Austin Severell. And this double team gets movement, and that movement is what allows Donaldson to just lean over that left side of the line and get into the end zone for a touchdown.
So Ohio State strikes first. Jayton Fielding in for the extra point, and it's good. Wisner back deep. And this one will go out of the back of the end zone. 1st down and 10 of the 25. Empty backfield for Manning. He runs it. Gets outside, shows a burst, and picks up 7, maybe 8 yards on the play. 2nd down and 1 at the 34. And Texas will pick up the 1st down.
Some real frustration from Travis Shaw challenging his people on the front line defensively.
Quick strike, Manning, incomplete. Thank you, Tom.
Try one of those type of plays here in the next few snaps.
But we haven't mentioned Wingo's name. Here's the strike on the outside, and it's Ryan Wingo. Continue to move the chains. Manning bounces out of the pocket. Burst of speed, looking for the 1st down. Oh, he's chopped down by Styles right before he gets to the marker. Down 7-0. Play fake. Manning, he's going to uncork it. Throws it deep. Double coverage, incomplete. 6:32 remaining in the 2nd quarter. And they'll hand it off. Baxter, not a lot, if any. Texas 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. They need 10 here. Manning, stepping up, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Arvell Reese.
To get the attention of the offensive line away from them.
Bo Meester ready to send it away. And this one will be down deep inside Ohio State territory at the 1.
You know what Jack asked at the end of the play?
What?
JT, did I look fast?
Yes, you did, Jack. 1st down and 10. And Ohio State running it. Let's go downstairs and check in with JT. He can really play the game of basketball as well. Athlete. 2nd down and 7 at the 5. Peoples, the lone setback. Play fake. Sayin in the end zone. Throws it. Caught on the sideline. That's Carnell Tate. And a 1st down. 1st down and 10 of the 18 now for the Bucks with some breathing room. Here's a handoff. Peoples trying to get outside. Nothing. Here comes a blitz. Sayin stands in the pocket, dumps it down, incomplete.
And he's very careful with the football and knows where to go with it.
3rd down and 10 of the 18. Julian Sayin with time underneath, caught, not enough for 1st down. Holy Chicago.
He did it. He said it right there.
He said it.
Right on the tees.
Oh. And this will punt it out of bounds. First down and 10 at the 47. Here's Manning underneath. That one thrown high, incomplete.
Well, you think back to the success that Texas had or didn't have against this defense in that national semifinal a year ago, and that was their last game. They studied that game all off season. The thing that really hurt Ohio State in that game offensively for Texas was throwing to the running backs to the short side of the field. So that would be to their right now. I wonder if here in a big drive they'll go to that side of the field.
Second down and 10 at the 47. Baxter in the backfield. They give it to him. He jitterbugs and crosses the line of scrimmage. Stopped by Arvell Reese. A gain of 2.
I tell you what, it's been a pretty conservative game plan for Texas, hasn't it?
Yes.
Patricia calling the plays defensively for
With that
Ohio
signature
State.
Pencil in his ear.
That's right.
Matt Patricia.
The aeronautical engineer.
How about that? He's got a master's in math. Third down and 8 at the 49. Arch Manning under pressure. Takes his time. Shovels it off. Not enough for a first down. C.J. Baxter. Gain of 6. And I'd love the coverage for Ohio State in the secondary.
I tell you, they're going to keep their offense on the field right here and bleed a little bit of clock. This is one of the, if I was Ryan Day, I would think about a timeout right here because you could save some time if you're able to stop them on 4th down.
So here we go, 4th down and 2. And a timeout. Bomeister is getting a lot of work here in this first half. Ennis back deep. Over to the sideline. Let's take a bounce. And bounces out of bounds inside the Ohio State 5 with 35 seconds to go. So tight formation. Looks like Sand may take a knee. And he basically does. And the Buckeyes will let this clock wind down and head into the locker room.
Let's go with that pull.
Will Stone will send it off. James Peoples, the deep man. And Brandon Ennis as well. All right, Jenny, thank you. 1st and 10 of the 25 for Julian Sand, who managed the game extremely well in the first half. No costly mistakes. Underneath, throws a strike, and it's caught by Jeremiah Smith.
It's a good way to start getting him the ball. And remember, this Texas team held Jeremiah Smith to 1 catch for 3 yards in that semifinal matchup a year ago. And talking with Ryan Day the entire offseason, he was like, that won't happen again. And you can see the concerted effort they've gone to get number 4 the ball and his touches. That's now 7 targets. He's got a couple of drops, yes, but he's got completions, and they also got that holding call on 2nd down against Smith.
2nd and 4. Here's the run game now. Peoples. But just think about some of the things Jeremiah Smith, Joel, did as a freshman. He was the Big Ten's receiver of the year and freshman of the year. He broke the Buckeyes freshman records for catches, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and receiving yards in a single game. And he's a baby.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 true freshmen. I said this last year, there's only 2 true freshmen that I've ever felt could play at whatever level of football possible when they were 18 years old, and that was Adrian Peterson and Jeremiah Smith. And
yes,
he proved that with a monster year production-wise a year ago.
3rd down and 4 at the 31. Sand looking, sideline, incomplete, broken up. Nice defense this time by Texas. Malik Muhammad steps in, redirects the football, and the Buckeyes will have to punt.
Yeah, good coverage by Malik Muhammad right here, and he's going to be physical. Remember, he got the holding call earlier in that first half, and right there they get a little away with a little bit of contact, and Smith's trying to get back to the ball, and you can hear the fans react to that, but no flag, and the Buckeyes will have to punt it away.
First 3 and out of the game for Ohio State. Ryan Niblett ready to return it. Joe McGuire will send it away, standing at his own 16. McGuire, end over end. Niblett to the sideline. Let's take a bounce and fields it. And will go down close to the 30-yard line. At the 29, let's see what kind of adjustments Texas has made during the halftime period. And this is Wisner. Quintravion Wisner. They call him Trey, but his mom, Angie, says, no, my boy's name is Quintravion.
Well, Quintravion is the SEC's leading returning rusher, and certainly a really quality player.
On 2nd down and 4, Wisner picks up the first down.
So I thought the first half was very un-Sark characteristic. You know, like, he normally has a lot of motion and a lot of things to put pressure on the eyes of the defense and side-to-side type movement. And now you're starting to see a little tempo here. They're going to go fast.
First down at the 41.
Well, Gus, I would expect more tempo. I would expect more motion and movement pre-snap. And then again, get Arch on the outside and get him some easy completions like they just tried to do right there. And that one was thrown low. Arch is just not in rhythm, even when he's dropping back, nowhere to go with the football. I haven't seen him one time yet today throw a pass in rhythm and get a completion.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 at the 38. Young man trying to figure this thing out against the reigning national champions. On the road, Manning scrambles, turns it up, squares his shoulders, look at the feet, and gets out of bounds with the first down. Now everybody talks about Archie, his granddad. First down and 10 at the 47 after the 14-yard gain. And they'll hand it off. Wisner gets to the edge, squares, and powers his way forward close to the first down. 2nd and 1 at the 38. And they'll hand it off looking for that first down. Wisner leading and gets it. First down and 10 at the 36. And the handoff. Baxter. It's so interesting, Joel.
Now you got Arch, and he's just trying to build a career for himself.
That's right. Here's Manning underneath. Ooh. 3rd down and 2 at the 28. The handoff to Baxter breaks it back. Another first down. First series of the second half at the 20. And a slingshot to the sideline. 2nd and 1 at the 11. Manning play fake, looking, guns it, sideline, caught. This time it's Dalen McCutcheon. And he'll pick up a first down. Wisner in the backfield with Manning. Arch straight ahead with wiggle, and he'll get inside the Ohio State 5. 2nd down and goal at the 4. Manning runs it, looking. It'll gain about a yard. Wingo in motion. They'll hand it off. Baxter cuts it back, trying to power forward, got close, and he'll be down. Looks like at the 1-inch line, gains about 2 yards on the play.
Man, this is just like a carbon copy of last year, right? Ohio State's so good inside the 5, and Texas will go for it here. 4th down.
Manning looks like they're going to do the tush push, and they don't get in. Ohio State does it again. Nebraska, Penn State last year, and right now, Texas. So Ohio State takes over at their own 1-yard line. Donaldson deep in the backfield and saying, just try to give them a little breathing room.
I'll tell you what's so difficult. The goal of this series is just to get a first down and then maybe a second to try to help the field position. 2 first downs. That's the goal of the series. That's what you tell your young quarterback. But even within that, if you can't get a first down, you've got to get the ball away from the goal line. Because if you're punting the football with just, 11, 12 yards behind the snap, it's got to be such a quick kick, a one-step-in kick, that generally speaking, that punt only gets out to about the 40-yard line. You set up the opposition with great field position. So right here, this is an important series for Ohio State trying to get away from their own goal line.
2nd and 9 at the 2. Play fake, saying, scrambling, flag on the play in the end zone.
That's going to be a safety. If that's on the offense, that's going to be a safety. It's either going to be that or another hands to the face from Texas. I think they could probably call either. You got the linebacker Lafau. He comes in number 18 in the middle of the line of scrimmage. And Gus, he's going against the offensive line. His hands are up.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Holding on the offense, number 75. Personal foul, hands to the face, number 18 on the defense. Those penalties offset.
Sayin hands it off straight ahead. No room, no gain. Sayin hands it off again. This time they'll get a little breathing room as C.J. Donaldson will pick up 6. Nibble it to the sideline. Takes a bounce. And out of bounds around the 45, 46. Yes, this place has been rocking. And Buckeye Nation is fired up. But Texas has found a rhythm here in the second half. The last time they had it, 15 plays, 70 yards, 7 minutes, no points. Flag on the play.
Holding on the offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
First down and 15 at the 45. They'll run it with Wisner. And he's gang tackled. Do you think Sark could just start letting him throw it?
Well, I think they've tried. This secondary has won the battle on the outside. There's nowhere to throw it deep. They tried to throw it deep one time. It was double covered. You've got the best defender in college football back there, Caleb Downs. You don't want to just blindly throw the ball over the middle. And so I think Ohio State has largely taken that away, Gus.
Play fake. Manning, he'll throw it this time. Oh, it's intercepted. Matthews Jr. The first turnover of the game. And I think you were right, partner.
Well, there's a reason they haven't been doing this. The coverage has been excellent. Matthews basically runs the route
at the 32-yard line for the Buckeyes. Play fake. Sayin sets. And this one is caught.
That's how they've been trying to get Smith the ball in more creative ways because of the coverage.
2nd and 7 at the 35. Donaldson. And he's ridden down after a gain of 3.
And as that defense continues to play well, now what you start thinking about is trying to get them a little bit of a rest. You know, before that pick, the last series that defense was out there was 15 plays. And where do you go on 3rd down? Well, it's been a big Smith target game, and obviously you would anticipate that. The other guys have not really played a factor. I would expect Carnell Tate in the second half to have a big catch, Gus, sometime. Maybe Max Clare, but one of those guys, because of the double coverage on Smith, they're going to have to win their one-on-one matchup.
3rd down and 4 at the 38. Sayin. First down. Yes, for Ohio State, it's Jeremiah Smith. Ran a great route. Caught it in stride, and he'll gain 7 on 3rd and 4.
He's so physical at the top of his route. Watch, he's going to be working against Malik Muhammad right here, and it's a slow release and then just hands right there. Maybe gets away a little push off, but creates space for himself. How easy is that for Julian Sand? Big, wide open passing window, and you're throwing to the best wide receiver in the sport. That is just a pitch and a catch for a first down.
Smith, 5 catches, 40 yards. First down at the 45. Sayin goes through his progressions, checks it down to Donaldson. He gets his shoulder square and out of bounds about a yard and a half short of the first.
Yeah, I think this is a big deal, is getting a catch from a back early, because remember Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins last year. They were the 2 backs for Ohio State. They're now in the NFL. they caught the ball exceptionally well. So these young guys that are having to come in, or the transfer C.J. Donaldson, they've got to fill that production and get those catches. Donaldson at West Virginia, Gus, was an H-back style tight end at times and a running back. So he's got that background where he knows how to catch the football. He's been a receiver before, and they certainly took advantage there on the last play.
32 catches in his career and 1 touchdown.
And so that's in the back of your mind as well.
2nd down and 1 at the 46, and a 1st down for the Buckeyes. Donaldson. Mark Ingram talked about it. 1st down at the 43. Another handoff, Donaldson. Nice forward lean, but there is a flag.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 or more players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
1st and 15. Donaldson again following his blocks. And Donaldson. This time he picks up 8.
You know, great blocking here up front. You know, they're again going to pull some guys around. You got tight ends coming around, and then Donaldson is just going to try to get patient and be right behind those guys. Sabola, the right tackle. You've also got Will Kazmarek, a really nice block. They've said that they think he's probably the best blocking tight end in the country. Granted, that's probably some bias coming from his own coaches, but Kazmarek is a guy they really trust in that run game as a blocker from the tight end position.
2nd and 7 at the 40. Saying, looking, goes deep, saying, Tate, touchdown, Tater. Carnell Tate, 40 yards.
This is a great route. He's able to get behind the defense, and Jalen Gilbo is just trying to catch up. Ball's a little underthrown. How about the double catch? Gilbo gets there, bats that ball away initially, and Tate's got to catch it a 2nd time, and he's able to haul it into the end zone. I said he was going to make a crucial play or a crucial target in the 4th quarter. They go to him early in this 4th quarter, and he's able to pay it off for a touchdown.
One of the most impressive young men in college football. The things that he's endured in his young life already. He's got a 3.5 grade point average. With that 40-yard touchdown. And Texas brings it out of the end zone. Wisner. He jitterbugs and gets to the 15. Good special teams coverage. Here's a handoff. Wisner. And let's check in with Jenny.
Huge touchdown to Tate. The big smile. Will Howard there to greet him. Smiles all around.
Thank you, Jenny. 2nd down and 4. Another running play. And Carnell Tate, he loves playing against Texas. Had a career-high 7 catches for 87 yards in last year's semis. 1st down now for the Longhorns as Wisner gets out of bounds. 13-yard gain. 1st down from the 37. Manning. Another check down. Out wide. Baxter.
Very cool, and gets to play with his brother, Sonny, who's the linebacker, 1 level in front of him.
2nd and 5. Nice blocking by Texas. Manning gets it away and completes it. It's 1st and 10 at the 43. Manning sets, guns, underneath, intercepted. Sonny Styles. My father and brother got a degree. I got a pick.
After video review, the pass is incomplete. The defender did not have control of the ball.
Let's go to
prior
Mike
hitting the
Pereira
ground.
in Los Angeles. Michael.
And he makes the right decision, Gus. I mean, the ball's actually between his arms. He doesn't have it firmly in his hands. And you're going to get a couple shots and see it. Now watch the ball between his arms, not in the hands. And then it's going to go through to the ground here and then pop actually when it hits the ground. But, you know, he really used the ground to try to complete the catch, and that's the right decision in replay to reverse this.
Now Manning under center. Here's the reverse. Wingo with a seam and a hurdle.
When Wingo touches the ball, he needs to touch it more here in the fourth quarter.
They'll hand it off straight ahead after the 8-yard gain and pick up a first down. First down at the 30. Play fake. Manning dumps it down. He finds his tight end. Injuries. And he'll pick up big-time yardage. First down and more. They've been close. Manning, straight ahead run. Trying to fight forward and does. 4-yard gain.
That series, Sonny Styles had not been in the game. I believe he was in the 10th on the sidelines being looked at after that review, and now back into the game, the captain of this defense in there with the block O.
Second down and 6 at the 12. Wisner on the cutback, gets inside the 10 for 3. Will Smith with the tackle.
You know, you got 2-possession game, 8:30 left. This is 4-down territory here, so Sark's got to be thinking to himself, he's got 2 play calls. You can still keep it on the ground. Remember last year, Arch was their specialty short yardage quarterback. We'll see if they get 16 either out of the pocket or involved in the run game here.
3rd down and 3 at the 9. Wisner, the lone setback. Motions. Manning looks underneath and incomplete. Wingo. Manning in the end zone. Incomplete. He had a receiver, Parker Livingstone, just couldn't hold on.
We see you. Shout out to you guys, sold out down there, although I'm sure that there's a lot of unhappy spectators in Arlington, Texas right now watching this one with their team down 14-0.
Not over yet. Ohio State running the football. That was pretty cool. Have you been to one of those? Sayin hands it off. Donaldson, power running. Looks like he's got a first down.
Well, this is getting as many first downs as they can.
First down and 10 at the 20. Another handoff, another run. What would it mean for this Ohio State program? Flag on the play.
I think if you were to ask Ryan, he just wants to win the game.
51 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from
That's
the
a
previous
holding on the left guard, Luke Montgomery.
Julian Sayin. What a solid performance by this young man. Low snap, scoops it up, gets it away. This time it's Peoples fighting. 2nd down and 19 at the 12. Sayin. Jeremiah Smith. Probably would have liked to stay in bounds on that play.
And Ryan Day might rely on his defense here.
3rd down and 15. And it is another run play. Not a lot. Neblett back deep at the 44. McGuire gets it away. Neblett at the 40 with the fair catch.
Of where he was lining up, a lot of their play designs have gone away from number 2.
First down at the 40-yard line for Manning. Underneath, and a whistle. DeAndre Moore.
Timeout.
Ohio State got a timeout before the ball was snapped.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Jim Knowles left after winning the national championship and went to Ohio State's rival Penn State as their DC. Manning down the slot, and it's caught. It's Wingo. Big reception, 29 yards.
Beautiful throw. That was the best throw of the day by far, and he was in rhythm. You notice he just hitched up right away and threw it right down the seam.
First down, Manning again to the sideline, and Wisner gets out of bounds.
Only a 2-score game. There's plenty of time here with 2 timeouts left. Got to get a quick score here. Got to work quickly, obviously, but still plenty of time. 2nd
and 5 of the 27. Manning tried to put that one in a shoebox and incomplete.
Well, now you start to think about Manning having to force the football a little bit down the field. He can't be too careful with it, but you can't be careless with the football either. And then where does Steve Sarkisian come into play here, trying to design something for one of his skill position players to get them the right matchup or in the right area for a big play.
3rd down and 5 at the 27. And some movement again on the right side of that offensive line. It might have been Baker again.
False start. 73 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
3rd down and 10 at the 32. Obviously 4-down territory for the Longhorns. Arch Manning guns it. Touchdown, Texas! Livingstone! And the Longhorns are on the board. 32 yards.
What a battle at the end of this play. Jermaine Matthews is going to be in coverage man-to-man against Parker Livingstone, and they said he had a great camp, a terrific worker, and he continues to work on this route.
And he got it.
Down 2 scores, 14, going for 2 there. Sark decides to kick the extra point, and now all the pressure is going to be on Ohio State and that offensive line to try to close this thing out.
Donaldson. Nothing.
They're trying to get big. 3 tight ends in the game. Only wide receiver is Jeremiah Smith out there on the edge.
Texas with 2 timeouts. The 2-minute timeout coming as well.
Sayin needs to hold his guys at the line of scrimmage here, not snap this ball until he gets inside of 5 seconds on the play clock. Empty backfield.
That's what he does. Sayin to throw it. Looking. Sayin scrambling. And he'll just dump it. Wise decision for Julian Sayin, but the clock stops with 2:39 to go in the 4th. 3rd down and 10. This is a big one for both teams.
It really is, and that is a tough one. You would rather see him just run right there rather than just throw an incompletion that allows Texas to keep their second timeout. Now there's still 3 stoppages ahead. And again, it's tough. There's a million things going through that young quarterback's mind right there, but not throwing an incompletion is one of them, and just running up and trying to dive, even if you don't get any yards. And now Arch Manning's going to have plenty of time if they're able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
Big one. 3rd down and 10 at the 25. Can Ohio State stay on the field? Sayin under pressure, underneath, caught, but not enough for the first. Brandon Ennis. And what a tackle by Grayson Littleton, the freshman from Tampa. McGuire punting from the 15. Niblett at the 34. Line drive kick. Lost it in the sun, out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 1st down and 10 at the 15. Manning throws it up. Incomplete. Wingo, the target, and he was open, but Manning had pressure.
He had him open. Pocket was collapsing a little bit, but that ball just sailing ever so slightly over Wingo's head. And this pass rush, although it was closing, there was a lot of time there for Manning in the pocket. And if Ohio State wants to get a stop here, I think they're going to have to try to affect his timing a little bit more. I would not be surprised to see them start to ratchet up a blitz or a pressure.
2nd down and 10 of the 15. Manning again to the sideline. Big throw. Caught. Woo! At the 45. Jack Endries. A gain of 30.
Game running through the seams, whether it's down the hashes or on the sideline. Not the in-breaking routes or crossing routes, but just right down the seam.
1st down at the 45. Here's a run. And it's Wisner.
Start to attack down the field.
Manning again after the 5-yard gain to the sideline. That one low and incomplete. Near the 1st down marker for Endries. 3rd down and 5. 4-down territory.
You got 2 in your pocket. So if you're the quarterback, you don't want to force the football. And then a great option here in particular if you start running through the seams is the quarterback's legs.
3rd down and 5 at midfield. Texas with the timeout left. Trips at the top of your screen. Indries, the tight end, at the bottom. Wisner in motion. Manning. Sidearm. Up top. Incomplete. Wow. Wingo. And he had some real estate in front of him, but that ball thrown slightly behind him. That makes it 4th down and 5.
He had all sorts of room in front of him. This ball has got to be thrown out in front of him. Tough catch for Wingo to try to go back over the right shoulder. Down's the only player out there, and he was a safety just trying to recover. Big mistake, and now a 4th down.
They've got to convert this. 4th and 5. Manning in trouble. Got it away. Caught, but not enough for the first. And Ohio State bends, but once again does not break. Saying in victory formation, he'll take a knee. Saying buying time, and he'll just fall down. Texas out of timeouts.
Don't need to drag off any other time. There we go. Now just a knee, and that's your ball game.
That's it. A defensive gem. But in the end, the national champions prevail. 14-7. Ohio State defeats Texas.
How about your quarterback? Let's talk about his debut. Julian Sayin and his composure. What impressed you?
I really like his composure. You know, we probably could have opened it up later in the game, but you know, his first start, we didn't want to do that to him. You know, but I think he could have handled it. You know, this is a great start for him to win a game in his first start, to beat the #1 team in the country. Big time play over here. I thought he took care of the football. And then, I mean, yeah, what a start for him. But, you know, just a gutsy win for our team. It's a long season, so we got a long way to go. But I'm just proud of these guys. Gutsy win here to start.
Congratulations.
All right, thanks.
Let's head over to Tom Rinaldi.
Jenny, thank you very much. Alongside Julian Sayin, you were saying just a moment ago, the last time you started a game, there were maybe 8,000 people there. You start here, first win, 100,000+ against the #1 preseason team in the country. How do you describe it?
Yeah, it was an awesome atmosphere. Big thanks to our fans out here. Defense played well. You know, offensive line played well. Just an awesome experience.
Your defense really stout all game long. What do you say about them?
I mean, I just can't say enough about them. You know, Coach Patricia and the guys really just, you know, holding 7 points to Texas. It was a great time, and, you know, really proud of the defense.